We show levels, we can hear each other. Works now. Oh my God, amazing.
Well, welcome back, guys.
So unplugging a cable and plugging it back in.
Well,
random bullshit.
You know, when in Rome, it's when things go wrong. You know, like when I was doing concerts.
Yeah.
I worked for Waylon Jennings for a while, and I was doing front of house, and we're mixing, and all of a sudden the whole thing goes dead. The whole PA goes down, meters go down on my console. Like, what the? I'm on the headset to the guys on stage, and check the power, check this. I got 15,000 cowboys throwing beer bottles at me at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm probably only down 3 minutes, but with that many people yelling, "Fix this out!" I last minute I was frustrated. We couldn't find anything. I slammed my hand down on the padded part of the console. Everything came back up.
Oh my God.
We did the rest of the show. I would hardly touch the console. I was scared.
Yeah, you're like, don't touch anything.
At the end of the show, we always travel with a tech guy, which in a British company called Boffin. And he checked it, loose fuse cap in the console. It was the whole thing.
That's just crazy. Yeah, I don't even want to touch anything. It's working now.
Anyway.
Thank God. So I don't know how much of the show did you guys miss? Do we need to take this from the top? Or how much audio did we actually have, or when did it cut out? Let us know in the chat. And in the meantime, I am going to reintroduce Andy from Ecoute Audio. Ecoute Audio. And tell us your backstory again.
Okay, wow.
It sounds like,
I'm old. This could take a while. It's,
I mean, this is crazy, but let's talk about it, and let's talk about, you had some big changes. So you used to work with Dan Clark Audio.
Yeah, I was president of Dan Clark Audio for 7 years, and I'm really proud of the work that I helped do there. Of course, Dan's a brilliant designer, and they'll continue to do really well, but I wanted to do something a little more targeted for myself. And so I'm now founder and one of the founders and president of Ecoute Audio, and this is the headphone, and it's our first one. It's just getting going, okay. And this headphone is kind of like the Swiss Army knife. The unique part is it's got dual mono tube amps in it. So there's a tube amp in each side.
Very original.
From the Chord guys, new tube, okay? Dual mono DAX, dual mono DSP. You can plug in USB for full res. You can plug in 3.5. And just as a little add on the cake here, it's full ANC noise canceling, okay?
It's incredible.
Bluetooth, so wireless, 3.5, C, the whole works. It's basically your hi-fi system on your head.
I love it. And it's like new school tech with old school sound quality from tubes, which is tubes are the best.
And I'm a music guy, so this is one of the more musical headphones. A guy in the industry that I respect a lot, I sent him one to hear it, and he called me up. He goes, "This is the most vinyl sounding headphone I've ever had." So it's got that nice tube warmth, but it's detailed with modern DACs.
Right.
So it's so much fun. This is just a fun headphone.
So
you can turn the volume up on the side. You can skip tracks.
And you have an app. We talked about you have an app that's fully controllable. You have some different presets that you loaded.
Well, there's an app that comes with it, Android or Apple.
Yep.
There's about 7 preset curves in there. Like there's a Harman curve. There's flat. There's bass enhanced. You can actually do your own curve and name it and save it in there. So you can tailor these exactly the way you want them.
This is really rare because, there's everybody out there that's heard of tube amplification and portable tube amplifiers, but having it actually built in where you don't have to carry it in your pocket, and they don't get warm or hot or anything like that, because that was a question we talked about. And they're light.
They're very light.
They're very lightweight. They're well designed, and you can actually see the tube glowing in it, which is really cool.
But they're also formidably made. They feel good.
They feel very well built. Very well built.
And they come in a case, and they come with the USB-C to C and the 3.5.
They're very cool. And so we apologize for the audio issues. That was very strange because we could hear everything and we can hear each other, but you guys obviously couldn't hear us. So thankfully You guys in the chat let us know, so I appreciate that.
Oh,
and the price is great.
It's right now it's $899.
Yep.
We have plans for another model, but we're going to always be in that affordable price range.
Yeah.
That's our wheelhouse.
You're aiming for the everyday listener.
Yeah. And by the other way, with the app, when we do updates, you update the headphone from the app.
So just via firmware, basically,
Yeah.
essentially. That's sweet. That is great. So you don't always have to keep buying a different headphone. You can just update the one you have to get the new features on it, which is cool. And then, so tell us a little bit. So you're something we were talking about prior to even going into the headphones is your background in the music industry. And you said this is a very live sound, and you have had an extensive experience with live music, and you started at a very young age.
Yeah, I did.
Tell us. I hate to have you do that story again, but it was such a great story.
Oh, okay.
I want them to hear it because it really tells who you are and why your passion goes into this.
I was always into music. My mother, I think for Christmas once, she gave me a transistor radio for folks that was about the size of a pack of smokes, right? And I'd listen to Motown and stuff at night, Beach Boys and stuff in the bed, and I was just always into it. So I lived outside of New York in New Jersey, and we used to take the train in and go to Yankee games, me and my friends. And then, of course, when I was 13 or 14 and music was exploding, I told my mother I was going to Yankee Stadium. We were really going to the Fillmore East, which was a very famous rock venue in New York. And I remember going there for the first time, saw the Jefferson Airplane and the Youngbloods, but I said, I want to do what those guys on stage are doing, And I quickly found out I had no talent for playing. So to get closer to the music, I got into the audio part.
Right.
And I hung around that stage door and tried to get a job, lied about my age. I was 16. Oh, I'm 18, and the whole deal. And one weekend, the Allman Brothers were playing there.
It's incredible.
And bands used to not travel with a full PA and stuff. They would use the PA in the hall. The Allman Brothers had their own stuff. So they had a tractor trailer.
Yep.
So I'm standing there, and the guy knows I'm bugging him all the time, and he goes, okay, you, the big guy, help with the truck,
That's awesome.
Next thing you know, I worked there. It was such an experience. It was crazy. And then it led to me, when I left college, going out and touring. I was a grunt work on the Spiders from Mars tour with David Bowie when I was 19. And I did that for, till the latter part of the 80s. And back then it was gig work, right? So nowadays guys work for bands, they work for them, they're retainer. Back then you only got paid when you worked. So I worked for the most wide variety of people. I worked for Aerosmith for a number of years during the Toys in the Attics thing. I worked for the Commodores. I worked for the OJs. I worked for Parliament Funkadelic. It was like, when you got off a tour, you got another one,
Yep.
And then when Sue and I decided to have kids, I said, I was doing a Neil Young tour. I said, this really is no way.
How do you spend any time with your kids?
Raise kids,
Yeah.
So I got out of that, and I kind of walked in as a sound by singer in New York and got a job. And then I lasted a year there, and Nelson Pass, who started Threshold, hired me to be his national sales manager. So that's how I got into
the hi-fi,
the whole
audio
manufacturing.
industry. Yeah.
But it's a crazy story, and it's funny. Young people will say to me, "You're full of shit. You couldn't have done all that stuff." I go, "Dude, you're 25. I'm 72.
You don't look 72. You look damn good."
I said, "I just been on the planet longer than you." But it's funny. I always, when people go, "You don't look 72," I always bring that Eddie Murphy quote up from Trading Places.
Yeah.
Karate man bruised on the inside. So
That's funny.
But but that's why that's kind of I did the high end stuff for a really long time. Like I ran Meridian, Audio Quest, Cardis. And then I went to work with Monster to help put beats in the marketplace.
Right, yep.
And that's when I just fell in love with the headphone space. The headphone space reminded me of the early garage band music space.
Right.
The early garage hi-fi guy, like Nelson Pass started in the garage.
Right.
And hi-fi to me had gotten so stodgy and
stiff.
elitist.
Yeah, totally.
And the headphone space just turned me on to this is fun again.
It's more fun, yeah.
You know, and music based.
Yeah, totally.
know, so-
Not just equipment based, right?
Yeah.
And you can see that with a lot of the people that come to the CanJams, right? Because
Yeah.
you've been coming, we talked about, you've been coming to CanJam for what, over 15 years? You're
Something
like one of
like
the
that, yeah.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't come to some of the super early, the meets.
But you're in the beginning phases for sure. Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, after I left Beats, I ran Jerry Harvey Audio for
Oh, sure. Yeah.
8 years. And at Jerry, about 60% of our business was large scale touring. So we were doing the Stones and Taylor Swift and, church bands and the whole
Sure.
thing. And then 40% was the high end stuff. So I was involved with not just this, but NAMM and, that kind of thing. And so kind of, I can remember some of the earliest headphone shows, there was like Jerry and I at a table with 2 headphones. And it was,
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it was early at the and I think we were kind of the first ones in the head-fi space that did customs.
Yeah.
But then it exploded. I mean,
Right. Now,
how many in-ear guys are there now? I mean,
so many.
oh yeah,
So many.
It's crazy.
I mean, there's not as many custom ones, but there's still, I mean, a lot.
well, the stuff sounds incredible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's getting more affordable too. Like the sound quality that we get in the inner space is so competitive.
Well, that's the thing we're seeing. One of the things I see across the board is, and it's not a slur. It's I belong to a Facebook group that looks at what they call chi-fi.
Sure. Yep.
And people's impressions, not too long ago and still now, think anything that's built in China is cheap and not good.
It's not true.
That's
yeah.
just not true anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
I
yeah.
mean, I use a Eversolo A10 at home. It was a quarter the price of a European grade streamer, preamp, the whole thing, and it works flawlessly. And it uses all the best DACs and all the best stuff. I bought an amp from them. You got WIM, you got FIO. It's doing some incredible work. And Ecoute, we'll get it right out the bed. Somebody said, Andy, you got to move to France? And I said, no, we actually build them in Shenzhen, China.
Yeah.
One of our partners is there, Canadian guy, lives in China. And then one is in Texas here. But we build this in China. And the quality that these guys build is amazing. Can you buy cheap stuff in China? Sure.
Sure, yeah. You can buy cheap stuff from a lot of companies, or countries, I guess.
There's some amazing work being done in China now, especially with software.
Yeah.
Like in America, I asked for a minor change on the app.
Yeah.
I had it the next morning.
Yeah.
If that would have been in the United States,
it would have taken months.
Maybe next week. It's like, but and they just do beautiful work. I think for them, I've been going over there for years. I think for them, it's a natural evolution. For say you got a group of factories, and one wants to compete with the other ones. Well, a natural progression is somebody to go, let's make better stuff.
Right.
Let's be the higher end guy.
Yeah.
And, so it's really promising, the stuff that's coming from there. So for people that think that China means bad quality, that is not the case.
No, I have one of my favorite amplifiers I have in my house for speakers is from a company called Mishi, and it's made in China, and I've had a lot of amplifiers at a lot of price points in my house working for the Source.
Me too.
And Mishi is the one I wanted to keep for me. So that says something.
Yeah, I changed over my whole thing to, I had what my wife would refer to as the bad science project.
Yeah.
Ruined servers, cords, this, that, the other thing. The whole thing got replaced by one box.
Which is nice.
From Eversolo.
Yeah.
And then Eversolo is doing a headphone amp now called Luxon.
Okay.
$1,200.
Yeah.
And it outdoes a lot of $4,000 amps.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can do something for a lesser price and it's giving you the same quality, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, and I'm going to pass
money.
I'm passing this
savings on to your consumers.
Yeah. And by the way, just to soothe the nerves of the other crowd, there is no place in the United States that I could have this made and charge you less than $1,000.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah.
So,
and it's a first. I don't know of any other headphone that has tubes built in it with noise canceling, with Bluetooth, with an app. Like, this is a first of its kind in the industry.
Well, and what I'd like to say, you and I were talking as an aside, you know, that guy that has the Dan Clark Audio Stealth Home.
Yep.
Throw this in your briefcase for when you travel.
Yep, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, you don't always want to travel with a $4,000 set of headphones.
Well, you don't. Some
No,
people do.
I don't.
But,
I definitely don't.
But yeah, this has broad appeal as a, you know, I'm a big carry EDC.
Yeah, everyday carry guy. Yeah.
I'm a bag freak. Jude and I are both bag freaks. And I see this as like your
everyday carry for music.
Everyday carry just pops right in. By the way, it comes in a zippered carrying case.
Okay, cool.
Is the packaging. So
very cool.
And like I said, it comes with the USB-C and a 3.5, and that's all you need.
It's sweet, man. I'm excited for you. I think this is a great change, and it's an exciting one. And you get to bring your background from your love for live music and the music industry with some of, let's be honest, the greatest bands in American music history.
I was very lucky.
I mean, and I said that earlier when you guys were hearing it. I said I am so envious because you got to grow up in a time when all the music that I just love so much, and you were around it. And I feel like, I'm 46, so I think about like the younger generation and what they missed, and what I missed in the music time period that you got to really truly experience. It's magical.
Well, you know, it's crazy when you look at, I forget who does it, Forbes or one of them. Maybe every year they put out the highest grossing tours. And of course, you always have Beyonce and Kendrick and those guys. But the next 5 are all guys from the 70s.
Yeah.
The Grateful Dead, the other ones was the third largest tour after Taylor Swift.
It's incredible.
Now, there was a huge margin there, but,
Sure.
but the Eagles at the Sphere, I mean, it's funny. This stuff holds up.
Oh, and it still
like
holds
Motown.
up today. Yeah.
Motown will hold up forever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the first concert I ever saw, I was 14 and a half years old. It was in Oregon at Autzen Stadium, and I had to petition for months because I was too young to go by myself to my parents. And I said, hey, can me and my buddy Danny go see the Grateful Dead at Autzen Stadium?
Oh, yeah, well, that's in Eugene, right?
That was in Eugene.
Well, that's one of the Grateful Dead's hotspots, New Jersey and Eugene.
Incredible. I remember being so young and seeing the scene just before you even get inside the stadium.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. And I'm glad I did because Jerry passed away, I think, 2 weeks later or something.
Oh, wow.
So it was like the last chance I would have ever had to see them as a unit play together. So
yeah, I saw them at the Grateful Dead at the Fillmore.
Yeah.
And
I bet that was amazing.
I didn't know who they were.
Oh, really?
I had no idea, yeah. And I can just remember that at the Fillmore, they used to have 2 shows, an 8 o'clock show and an 11 o'clock show.
11 o'clock show was a party, right?
Well, the 11 o'clock show, I went to the 11 o'clock show, and it was the first time I ever saw a band play for 4 hours.
Oh, my God.
And with the Grateful Dead, 4 hours could be 2 songs, but it was.
Yep.
But I can remember there's just something about that vibe,
Yeah.
But I'm more of a Stones guy.
I love the Stones
myself,
too.
so there was some great music back then, and it's there's good stuff now, and it's just sometimes it's harder to find, but I found several guys and gals posting YouTube performances of themselves, and some really talented people. I mean, it's a shame the record industry has turned into this no pay for play.
It's much different than it used to be.
But that said, if you know where to look, people are posting incredible stuff online.
Absolutely.
They really are.
I'm going to look to the chat to see if there's any questions real quick.
Sure.
We got a lot of comments, and we've had some great support from our chat. So Burger Barn's really excited. He said he's picking up a pair of these right away.
Cool.
And Michelle, thank you. Michelle's actually my girlfriend. Thank you, sweetie, for... she tried calling me during the stream, and that was why my phone... And nobody can get through my phone because it's only emergency people, right? Because it's silent.
Right.
And I was like, why is she calling? And then, of course, she let us know in the stream.
Right.
So, all right, cool. No questions. Everybody seems just really excited about them, so that's cool.
Well, I'm very happy about that, and we're going to bring some exciting progress products over the next few years, and we're really, it's kind of my new adventure.
Do I get to review a pair of these?
Well, come on, man! I send you everything I do.
You do. You have been one of my biggest supporters ever. Andy, I'm so stoked that you came on today. I'm so excited for the new venture, and you're going to crush it.
No, it's going to be fun,
You've
man.
got one of the best attitudes, best personalities, and we're grateful for you in this community. So
I thank you for that. As a friend of mine once said, I have a voice for radio and a face for radio too. So thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. And
Later.
thank you guys all. I appreciate
Thank
you
you,
guys.
folks.
Stay tuned all day, and we will be here live from the floor. So we'll see you guys on the next one. We're going to have Rob Watts from Chord Electronics coming up soon. So stay tuned. I'll drop the link in the Head 5 forum soon. Take care, guys.